Hi guys, it's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. I'm here today with another video, but I am starting things just a little bit differently. As some of you may be aware who are in Canada, today is actually the first, it marks the first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation in our country. And basically, this is a day that honors the lost children and survivors of residential schools, their families and communities. And it's a public commemoration of the tragic and painful history and ongoing impacts of residential schools. And it's a vital component of the reconciliation process that we stop and we take note of this day and we try to reconcile to make things right within those communities. And I wanted to start today off with doing an Etsy share that kind of ties in with this day. I have a very good friend. She's actually a coworker of mine. Her name is Maria Hughes. She's a phenomenal artist. She is at Bearfootandbeaded at Etsy, and I'm going to link her Etsy store down below for you to take a look at her amazing work. And I actually have some of her work here. I purchased some earrings from her. It's just stunning. You guys really need to go over and take a look. These are the earrings that I purchased. I hope you can see just how incredibly stunning and gorgeous and the intricate work that's gone into making these. My lighting is not the best, but hopefully you can see these here. Like, look at all these intricate seed beads in here. Just a little bit of history. Maria is actually Plains Cree Métis, and she's living here in Calgary. And the Métis people are actually a post-contact Indigenous nation. So they're born from the unions of European fur traders and First Nations women in the 18th century. And they have a unique identity and cultural language, way of life, and, just a historic self-government. One of the things that they're most known for is actually their beadwork, and specifically their floral beadwork. So beading is one of the actual most celebrated Métis traditions. So this is so incredibly special that she has been taught and learned this incredible art of beading and is able to offer her incredible work to everyone through Etsy. So I do encourage you to go over and check that out. Again, I'm going to link her Etsy store down below, so please go over, check out her amazing work. This is just some of it, like the amazing earrings and bracelets, and it's amazingly stunning. You guys have to go over and check it out, so please go ahead and do that. Thank you very much, Maria, for letting me purchase these gorgeous earrings. I cannot wait to wear them. So I just wanted to stop and just take note of today and what today is, and as well as just kind of to tie in some of the amazing artists that I know who are Indigenous, and just bring light to their community and their craft as well. So yeah, go ahead and check that out, guys. So one of the things I also wanted to do today is I wanted to create a card to celebrate the Indigenous people. There's not a lot out there, guys, in terms of, stamps and stuff to create cards with, or create art with. However, I do have this one. It's from Impression Obsession, and it's the Lakota Prayer. And if you're not familiar with the Lakota Prayer, I'm just going to go ahead and read that out to you right now. It's just a beautiful, beautiful prayer. It's, teach me how to trust my heart, my mind, my intuition, my inner knowing, the senses of my body, the blessings of my spirit. Teach me to trust those things so that I may enter my sacred space and love beyond my fear, and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun. I just absolutely love that, and I thought we would use this today to create a card, as well as I do have some papers that are kind of Indigenous nature. We've got some dream catchers on this piece here, and just kind of, it's from a paper pack that I got, actually, to tell you the truth. I got it at the dollar store. So it's just from this designer paper pack. I don't even know. There was 24 sheets. It doesn't say the specific brand, but I just got it at my local dollar store, and I just loved the themes of these papers, and in particular these dream catchers. So I'm hoping that we can incorporate these pieces into our card. Now let's start off. I'm going to do a little bit of a different technique today. Because this is an all-in-one stamp, which basically means this is all together, I don't want all of this black. I want to add some color to this piece, and I'm not exactly sure how I want to do it. I think what I'm going to do is just ink up the images separately. So I think I'm going to try doing one that has the prayer itself just in black, and then try and do almost like a ombre effect on the feather, and then I might try it again just doing an ombre effect for all of it, and we'll see what happens. So let's give it a go. So I'm bringing out my stamp platform here. This is going to be, oh sorry, I don't know what's going on upstairs, but we're having fun whatever it is. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to be using the stamp platform. This is a thicker rubber stamp, and if I can get it out. Oh my goodness, I hope you guys can't hear that. They're very noisy upstairs. My daughter has a friend over, and I think they're just kind of having a runabout up there. So this does have a sticky backing to it. Well, not a sticky backing, it's one of the, typical red rubber foam stamps. And I'm just going to remove this just so it sticks to the lid of my stamp platform. And I've taken out the inserts just because, again, this is a thicker stamp, so we want to be able to press it down. And let's start by, see, now I've gone ahead and put these down, and now I can't get them back up. Let's see here. I'll find one of my little tools. This will work, I hope. There we go. If all else fails, find something metal. These are such strong magnets that you want to be careful. You don't want to catch your skin in between them, let me tell you, because whew, that hurts. Okay, so I'm just going to set these off to the side. I'm going to bring in my cardstock. This is 120-pound cardstock. I get this off of Amazon, so I really like this paper. So let's go ahead, and I kind of want, I'll put this to one side. I'll probably end up trimming this down. But let's start with this. These are magnets to hold this down. I'm going to close the lid, and I'm going to bring in my little tool here. This honestly is not a formal stamp, I don't know what you call it, puck or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, the chuck I think is what they call it. This is actually a piece from my son's air hockey game that he no longer used, so it worked perfectly for this. So you can definitely find other things that work well if you don't want to spend the money on the chucks or whatever they're called. Okay, so I have some colors here that I pulled out that I thought would go well with the colors of this cardstock here. So what I have is I have Faded Jeans, Stormy Sky, Chipped Sapphire, Shaded Lilac, Seedless Preserves, and Dusty Concord. I think I'm just going to switch these about just like that. I also have my finger daubers, and this is what I'm going to be using to apply the ink just in specific areas of the stamp. Okay, so let's start off. I think I want it to go from blue down to purple. Now hopefully you can see this. Just trying to figure out the best way to have this kind of all on screen for you. So to start off, I'm going to start with my lightest color of blue and just ink up my dauber. And I'm just going to ink up the feather. Now I wonder if might be helpful if I zoom in a bit for you in this process. Hopefully you can see that. So this again is the stormy sky that I'm using. So just using the finger dauber and adding just a little bit onto that stamp there. Okay, I'm going to use the same finger dauber. I'm just going to just kind of wipe it off a bit on just a microfiber cloth, just to take some of the excess ink off. Because I'm starting lightest to darkest, it's not so bad. You don't have to worry about contaminating your ink pads. It's when you go the other way, you don't want to get the dark ink into your light ink pads. So the next color I'm using is the Faded Jeans, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to overlap the color that I've already put down, that Stormy Sky, okay? And that'll just kind of give it a nice blend between the two colors, okay? Again, just wiping it off on my little microfiber cloth that I have to my side. The next color that we have is the Chipped Sapphire. We'll go ahead and ink up our dauber again. And again, overlapping what you've already done just to help make sure that there's no blank spots, and just kind of blend the colors in nicely. Okay. All right, so that's good. We've got our blues done now. Okay, now we're going to move on to the purple. We'll start with the shaded lilac. And again, overlapping what we've already done, just to blend those two colors. All right, so hopefully you can see it inked up there. Let's go on to our next color, which is the Seedless Preserves. Again, just giving a little wipe off there on my cloth. Overlapping the two colors a bit. Now I'm trying to be careful not to get ink onto the words. If I do, it shouldn't matter, because when I come in with that black ink dauber, it should cover it up. Okay. And then our last color, which is the Dusty Concord. This is such a beautiful color. And I'm carefully adding it just to that quill part of the feather. There we go. And this technique just allows you to get ink on specific areas of your stamp and just to create that beautiful ombre effect. Okay? I'm going to add just a little bit more to the quill. All right. Now I'm going to use my go-to sentiment ink. And if you follow my channel, you know that it is Versa Fine Clair. This is the amazing, amazing sentiment ink that I rarely, I can probably count on like 2 fingers how many times I've had to actually double stamp a sentiment with this ink. It's phenomenal. So let's go ahead and ink this dauber up. Like, look at that. It's made that dauber nice and juicy. And I'm gonna want to be kind of careful here, and I have to grab my glasses, guys, for this, just so I can make sure that I'm getting it only where I want the ink to go. Okay, I'm gonna switch hands just because it's a better angle, I think. Just being very careful as I go up to that feather so as not to get, I mean, if I do touch the edge of the feather with a little black, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, but I want to try to avoid it if I can. Now, these red rubber stamps are fairly good for staying wet, so hopefully by the time I get this done, our ink here is still going to be nice and wet and ready to stamp. If you're worried about it drying a little bit, what you can do is just use a little spray bottle and just gently mist, just very, very gently. You don't want to go crazy and squirt a whole bunch. I've gotten inky already. You just want to do a very light mist just to kind of reactivate those inks, especially just Distress Oxide inks, or Well, if you're using distress oxides, definitely. But the distress inks, you just reactivate them a bit. I'm not exactly sure how well it would work with the Nocturne ink, though, the Versa Claire, to tell you the truth. But I guess you can always try it. Okay, very carefully trying to get that letter there. All right, let's see how this turns out. I'm just going to wipe off my hand because the last thing I want to do is get a big ink smudge on my project. And let's put the ink pad lid back on. And I'm going to zoom you out now because you can see that I've inked up the entire stamp. So carefully zoom you out. Hopefully you won't get sick. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and stamp this down. Again, I'm going to bring back in my little tool here. Again, the trick for having a good impression is making sure that you get even pressure. This, again, because it has some fine details to it, you don't want to give it CPR pressure, because if you're pushing too hard on a detailed stamp, it's going to smush it out and blend it, like bleed it all together, and you don't want that. The other thing you want to remember is ink takes time to soak into cardstock and paper. So giving it at least 5 seconds for that ink to have a chance to absorb into the fibers of whatever paper cardstock that you're using is going to give you the best results. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. I am so happy with how that turned out. It's a little light in some of these areas. It's not bad at all. Like it's pretty good, but I want to see if I can get it just a little bit darker. Now, if I had gone directly from ink pad onto the stamp itself, I think I would have had a darker impression, but because I'm using a dauber, I'm not getting as much ink onto the text that I normally would. Did you need something, honey? No? You're good? Okay. Well, come on down and talk to me. No, you're good? Okay. All right, so just had my daughter pop down and not sure what she wants, but I'm sure Dad can help you upstairs if you need something, honey. Okay. So we'll go ahead and ink this up one more time just to see if we can get just a little bit darker on the text. All right. Let's try this again. Again, giving it some time for that ink to absorb into the paper. Not doing CPR pressure. I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that should be good. Yeah, that's better. All right. Let's take a look at this. See if you can see that. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm like nowhere near on screen here. But look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And that beautiful ombre effect that we got between the two colors. Or two main colors, but we had different shades within those colors. So that is great. So next thing I want to do is trying to figure out how best I want this. I think I'm going to trim this down. And I'm going to bring in my Fiskars paper trimmer for that. This is my favorite paper trimmer. The reason being is to trade out your blade. When your blade gets dull, it's super, super simple. You literally just lift it out and it's easy to change. And the blades are fairly inexpensive. My other favorite part of this trimmer is the size, that it's got the expandable ruler on the side. But also this little wire guide. It's got that precision wire guide in it That allows you to see exactly where your blade is going to cut. Now, I'm not sure if you can see on that angle, but there's the little wire right there, and I can see exactly where that blade is going to cut. And then I know I'm not going to cut anything important or not have anything either too big or too small. So there we go. And move that off to the side. And the next thing I want to do is actually get my card base together. So I'm just going to bring in my scoreboard. This is going to be a standard A2 size side folding card. So this paper is 5.5 by 8.5 right now. So basically it is the standard letter size paper cut in half. And now we are going to score it, if I can find my bone folder. We're going to score it at 4.25. So that's the standard A2 size card. And how you fold your cards is you're going to score it. You're going to create a valley, and you're going to turn that valley into a mountain. That's how I remember which way to fold these scores. And it's important to fold it that way so that you don't break the fibers of your card. If I was to fold it the other way, it would actually break the fibers of the card, and we don't want to do that. So I'm just lining it up on the corner here just to give it a good score. Burnish it down, and I think I've still got ink all over my fingers. Oh my goodness. I'll grab a baby wipe. 1 second. Alright, just got a damp baby wipe here just to try and clean off some of that ink so it doesn't transfer onto my card base. This card making's a messy business, you guys. Alright. I'm sure I always look funny after the weekend, or people at work can tell when I've been crafting because I always come in with different colored fingers, and it's not just my nails. It's not just my nail polish, it's my fingers. Now I've got a little bit of ink here that you can see. I'm just going to take my mono sand eraser, and I'm just going to I'm going to try this first. This is just one of those white erasers. Sometimes this works right off the bat. And it's doing a fairly good job. I'm going to try it with this white eraser first, and then if it doesn't get rid of it, then I'll use the sand eraser. But this seems to be working well enough. Look at that. It's just a tiny, tiny little area there. I can go in with my sand eraser. Just take that up. There's another little tool out there that I'm sure you guys have seen. This is the Couture Creations little sanding eraser tool. It's electric, so it works really well for fine areas if you're trying to do some detailed work. So this is another great tool as well, and I believe you can get this over at Scrap and Stamp. I'll try and remember to link this down below, but take a look at it over at Scrap and Stamp. And I think there's a code that you can use to get 10% off over at Scrap and Stamp. I believe it is 10 Chala, so that's 10 CHALA, or it's the other way around, Chala 10. One of the two, it should work for you guys. So go ahead and use that code to get 10% off over at Scrap and Stamp Canada. Okay, so we've got our card base done. The next thing I want to do is, I think I like it like really simple. I think we're just going to do some simple layering. I'm not sure, which do we like better? If I did this, or if I did, I think I like this better. It brings out those purple tones. Like this. Can even have it in the middle. Well, let's cut this down to size, the card base size, and we'll take a look. So that is going to be, the card base size for that is 4.25 by 5.5. So we'll do 4.25 this way. We've got a leftover piece we can keep, by 5.5. Alright, like that. Again, another little piece that we can create. I'll probably use this for my journal making, to tell you the truth. I would love, love, love to create an Indigenous themed journal. I think that would be so much fun. I just need to find the right materials to do that. I think that would be so great. And then I'd love to add some of Maria's beautiful beaded work to it. You know, if I knew how to do some beading, I think adding some beading to a card would have been amazing, but I am not that talented in the beading world. I've tried doing some beading. I enjoyed it. I'm just going to trim just a smidgen off here. I've tried it. My problem is I have really bad vision. So working with those I don't know how she does it. Working with those seed beads, yeah, I struggle to get them together. So, and I don't, you know, to be honest, you need patience to do that type of detailed work, and that work is stunning. Like, guys, you need to go over there and check that out. I definitely want to purchase some more. I need to really figure out which ones I want, because I want all of them, and of course my budget will allow me to do that. So yeah, I've got to figure out exactly which ones I want. There's so many different pairs over there. They're beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for this. It's my nice strong adhesive. Again, with this glue, not a lot of wiggle room. So if you are new to crafting, or you have difficulties lining up your paper pieces and need that little wiggle room, stick with like the Gina K Connect, or like a Lawn Fawn glue, even the Tombow multimedia glue, or the mono glue, that'll work for you as well. I have this stuff because this is what I use for my journal making. So, all right, I'm gonna need to put this pin in right away, or my fine tip gets all goopy. Go ahead and adhere this down to our card base. And then let's bring in, I think we need, oh, you guys, I smudged it. Can you see that? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. We've got our little tools. Let's go ahead and bring in our erasers again. This is why we have them. See, no matter what I do, I always smudge. It just frustrates me. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Clean it up with our eraser. See how much of that we can lift off. And I'm going to bring in just this little brush to get rid of the eraser bits. Oh, there's nothing worse than working on a project. You get it the way you want it, and then you get your inky fingers all over it. So frustrating. You guys will have to tell me if that happens to you. Alright, gonna use up my little tool here. And this is basically the same thing as this white eraser. It just spins a whole heck of a lot faster. I think there's other little nibs that you can add in there. I just use this one. I got a stubborn piece here. I'm going to bring in. I want to be careful that you don't take off too many of the fibers off your card. So we'll just minimize it there. That looks good. Okay. Everything can be fixed. I do, like I said, want to add something else underneath here just to set this off. So I think I want like either a blue or a purple little bit showing here. Let me grab my little card reel here. Okay. So I have this little cardstock reel. My mom made this for me. This is all the cardstocks I have. She's numbered all of them for me, and they are in little plastic sleeves, color coordinated, so that all I have to do is look for the number. And I can try out different colors to see what I like best. So let's try. Do we like that? No. No, we do not. Let's try. Is this any different? Maybe we need to go with a blue. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference on camera or not, but that's a little bit better. Maybe it needs to be darker. Maybe it needs to be blue. Let's try a blue one. It's a good thing out with this little reel. No, I like the purple better. Some of these are running out. I've got little pieces of purple tape to let me know that I'm running out of that color, or I ran out of that color. Let's try Let's try this one. Yeah, I think I like this one. Okay, so this is number 17. So I'm just going to pop over to my cardstock storage. I'm going to grab sleeve 17 and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've got my little number 17 folder that you can see here, and it is, as you can see, it's the same color, so it works out perfectly. Great storage system that my mom created for me. Thank you so much, Mama Bear. All right, so I'm just going to pull out this piece. It will be perfect. I'm just going to cut about a 1/2 inch strip. Again, using our Fiskars trimmer. I've been working this thing a lot today. I've been making some journals, and it's been, I think I might have to change my blade out soon. I also brought in, so let's see how this looks. I have this under here like that. Yeah, I like that. I wonder what it would look like. I brought over as well this mirrored cardstock for just a little bit of silver. I wonder what that would look like. Let's see if we can put a little strip in there. What would that look like? Kind of hard to tell. Let's go ahead and cut it down. Horrible part about working with this mirrored cardstock is you can actually see me in the reflection, and I don't like that. I don't want you to see that I haven't done my hair today. Alright, so 5.5, and I'm just going to do another 1/2 inch strip. That corner is all gummed up though. Let's turn it around. I'll try 1/2 inch. We'll just see what that does. All else fails, I just have a little 1/2 inch piece to work with something later. Okay. So if I line that up, you might only get one card done today. That's okay. I think I like that. Unless I want to do it on this side. Maybe I want to change things completely and switch sides. If I could, you know, my fingers are not working right now. Where are my tweezers? I've lost, there they are. Having a pair of reversible tweezers is super handy when you are working with small pieces. and your fat fingers get in the way. So tuck that under there. How's that gonna look? Is that? Now that I've done that, I think I like it the other way better. Let's see. You know what? I have a piece of masking tape. Let's go ahead and take some of the extra stick off. Let's line it up on the back. Oh, somebody's here. My dog is going a bit crazy. All right, let's try that. Let's actually do it this way. I'll do it this way. What do you guys think? I wish I could hear you. Should go on this side. Trim this down a little bit more and then we could see more of that. Yeah, let's do that. It's all about trial and error. What looks good to your eye might not necessarily look the same to me, but you know what? We'll make it work. Line it up right about there. And then that also gets rid of the little black marks I got all over it. Try this again. So if I line the silver up and then the lilac and then this over top. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's jump in. Let's do it. Let's commit. Enough fussing about. Get it down. Again, using that art glitter glue. Good strong adhesive. Just going to open up this card for a second. And hopefully my head doesn't get in the way as I try to line this up. Then we'll lay down our lilac piece. So I hope you are all having a good day and that you're taking some time to learn more about today's importance. I will also leave a link down below if you want to learn more about today's day of observance for the Truth and Reconciliation. I think it's important for us to learn as much as we can about what today is all about. It's not just a day off from work. There's much more to it. It's not just a day off from school. It's important that we take the time, just like we do for Remembrance Day, to remember all those lives that were lost in the residential school system and how incredibly absurd it was that it went on for so long. Okay, I'm just going to find my scissors and I'm just going to trim off this excess. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have black stuff on the inside of my card too. Ugh, it's just never ending. Thankfully, it's coming up quite easily. I guess I need to clean off my work surface a little better. That's okay, look, it's all gone. Problem solved. Right, now we're going to go ahead and adhere this down. Yeah, I'm really liking that. All right, this is the last piece. Again, what you can do is you can stamp this, say in like a light gray ink to start. Leave your stamp in your stamp platform. I would try maybe like doing it in a light shade of gray, and then you can watercolor the feather as well, and then just come back in with the darker ink again with the finger dauber, just to add in the sentiment a little darker. That would be nice as well. That would look well. So yeah, all right. I'm gonna zoom in. Hopefully I'll zoom in, there we go. So here is our finished card for today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Again, head over to Barefoot and Beaded with Maria Hughes. Check out what she has for her amazing Métis beaded work art. Take some time to purchase something from her. She's a phenomenal artist. I think it's so important that we support each other as artists, especially Canadian artists, and especially with the incredible history behind her art. It's so important. So thanks again for joining me today guys. Until next time, P.S. I love you. I just want to thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're looking for specific materials that I've used in today's video, go ahead and check out the links down below. As well, I'd really love it if you sent me some snail mail. I'm always interested to know what you guys have been up to and what you've been creating, and I'd love to share your cards on my next video. Thanks so much again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. P.S. I love you.